Hey, FPL fans, and welcome back to another video of the FPL Stateside podcast. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is FPL Zach. I'm a seasoned veteran of this game, and today I'm joined by, on the one hand, FPL Elias, who got a really respectable 300K rank last year, and on the other hand, FPL Andrew here, who also got a respectable personal high of 1 millionth. Really good rank for him. But jokes aside, today we got a really exciting video planned for you guys. We're each gonna pick two very low owned differentials that have extremely high upside, as well as two players that we think are overrated and you guys should be avoiding come the game week 1 deadline. We're gonna go through each of these players one by one, have a discussion on each of them, see if we agree or disagree with each other. And yeah, before we get started, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. But enough of me waffling, let's get straight into it. Andrew, would you like to get us off started with your first differential?
First differential is going to have to be Phil Foden. He had a disappointing end to the last season, and he's been in and out of the team with when Pep was the manager. But in reality, I think the new manager can really elevate him to a new level and bring him back to his 2023-2024 season where he had 19 goals and 8 assists and was really performing. And we also saw a glimpse of what he can do last season when he performed for like 5 weeks in a row with really explosive scores. I think in the new Maresca system, he could be a really big piece. As you can see in their last friendly, he captained the team. And he is one of 3 players that Maresca named a key pillar of this new Manchester City team. So I think he's going to be an extremely impactful player for this new side.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping you wouldn't bring him up because he's kind of my under the radar pick at the moment, but I agree with what you said. If he gets nailed minutes, then he's a lock in my team. At 7 million, I think is really underpriced. So yeah, great home fixture against Bournemouth to start off, and he could go on a purple patch again, score every game, and I think he could be like a 8 or 9 million player by the time the season ends.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Phil Foden before we move on?
I think he's just underpriced due to his poor end to the last season. I think he should be up there with Cole Palmer in terms of price. They've always been battling each other. I think he's a 9 million player at least.
Yeah, for sure. Palmer has penalties, so a bit more of a reason to go for him. But yeah. Moving on. Elias, would you like to reveal your differential?
Yeah, my number one differential player is going to have to be Enzo Lefebvre from Sunderland. He's just a baller overall. I mean, if you guys watch the preseason games, the club friendlies that Sunderland has, like he's literally involved in every single attack, every single build-up. I would argue that he's their primary creator. Like almost everything goes through him in possession. He's involved in chances, key passes, set pieces. He's a crazy skill set. There's also rumors that he's on penalties. He's only 6 mil, so he's such a bargain. Like, and also Sunderland overall is I think will be a very good team this season. And why not get the number one chance creator, number 1 goal threat on the team at only 6 million and very low ownership as well. So yeah, I mean, I feel my prediction is that if Sunderland scored this season, there's a good chance that he's going to be involved in their big chances created. So I just think he's an engine, and yeah, that's my number 1 pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good pick. Do we know if he's on penalties yet, though?
Not sure yet. It could probably be Robbie, but
yeah. Also, Diarra was taking them at some point last year.
Yeah. But I'm also looking at his fixtures. He has a really good fixtures also to start out. Ipswich, Fulham, and Brentford.
Yeah. I think it's definitely a good shot.
And his cheap price could make him just an 8th attacker. He doesn't have to play every single week. You can just play him for the good fixtures like Ipswich and Fulham, and then you can rest him for games like Arsenal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Sunderland, we could see a drop-off from them once European fixtures start, because they're not going to be used to playing multiple games per week. But for these first few, especially these first 2 green ones, I think, I don't hate that option at all. I think it's a great shout.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, next we can go through the differential player that I picked, and it's going to be Vuskovic from Brighton, new signing. If I can even find him. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I don't know why he's a Tottenham kit here. The dev's pretty much messed up, but yeah, we were looking at his stats earlier on, and he's a DEFCON machine. Looking at the historical data, and he also has a lot of goal threat. I believe he has like a goal in every 4 games in his career.
Damn.
So it's definitely one to look out for. He's only 5 million, so yeah, he'll be trying to fill in the shoes of that Brighton defense after Van Heck left. So yeah, I think he's a great option. The only tiny concern from him is that he may not be nailed down because Brighton also signed Pascal Struijk. So if Struijk and Dunk are the 2 starting center backs of this season, then this pick would be complete in shambles. But if he can get the minutes for Vuskovic, and I think he could be a really good option coming to this year. DEFCON merchant, goal threat, attacking threat, and a decent set of fixtures to start off. Villa at home, I would have complete confidence playing him in that game, as well as Chelsea away, another easy fixture. Leeds, Coventry, yeah, four great fixtures to start off. So yeah, curious to see if you guys have any thoughts on Vuskovic.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing if he's going to be nailed or not if he starts the first couple of games. Because if he does, then a very good option at low price, low ownership, DEFCON merchant. So
yeah, I think he should start. We saw him in the Croatia team for the World Cup, but they got knocked out early due to the brilliance of Cristiano Ronaldo. So yeah, he should be plenty enough rest and well rested ahead of this Villa fixture.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick. I think the only downside is the Chelsea game where he's going to concede probably about 8 goals. So that's pretty detrimental. -4 is not what you want. -2 after the appearance points. But other than that, I think he has a good chance of performing in the other 3 games.
I think he's going to get a bullet header in this game, and it's going to wipe out the Palmer clean sheet. That's going to be a -1, as well as Reece James -4. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be having him in this fixture. Yeah, let's move on to the next player. Andrew, would you like to reveal your next differential?
My next differential, I think, is underrated. I think most people are going for Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Brobby. I think Igor Jesus is a great pick. His preseason form has been exceptional, scoring 4 goals in 4 consecutive, or scoring 1 goal in 4 consecutive games. He's quick to react to keeper saves. If Chris Wood's firing shots in, he can get the ball if the keeper parries it just right in front of the goal. He's quick to be there. I think with Oliver Glasner taking over, he could be like the SAR that Glasner was using last year. And I think he could be a great pick. I think we know he has explosive upside. I think it was game week 34. He had 14-point haul last season. And he takes a ton of shots, and he's a great pick overall, I think. And I think he's just kind of flying under the radar. And if Chris was not on the field, he would be the front line. I think he could really score a lot of goals this season.
Yeah, I was looking at him last season as well as a under the radar pick like midway through the season because he was scoring a lot of goals. But yeah, I think this season might be his time to show out.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely a good pick. It's only 6 million. He's currently in my current draft right now, so you kind of spoil that pick for me as well. But yeah, I remember that 14-point haul. I think Andrew had triple Sunderland defense, so wouldn't really trust his word on that one. But yeah, great set of fixtures to start off here. Liverpool sucks, so that should be another 14-pointer. Tottenham, another brace, and Villa. This is probably the first hard fixture of the year for them.
Yep, and then Coventry, it's easy, probably 30 points that game. I think he just outperforms his XG with not as a creative a system as Glasner's going to bring. So I think he could really explode this season.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can move on next to Elias's next differential.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Kirkes from Liverpool. Talk about defender. I fancy Liverpool to be to be a very good team this year. I fancy him to get a lot of clean sheets, and Kirk specifically, I think he's like he's attacking fullback. He's like a Cucurella, you know. He doesn't play like a traditional left back where he sits back and just with tackles. He's constantly overlapping. He's constantly getting into the final third, creating chances. Um, and with Kirkhead, you're not relying solely on clean sheets. You know, you've got assist potential almost every game. In the friendly that they just played against Leeds, even though we lost, he had an assist in the first two club friendlies. He's absolutely nailed as well. You know, played the full first half, taken out. Yeah, I think it's a very good asset to have. He also racks up recoveries, tackles, chance creations. You know, so I think he's overall from Liverpool. I think if you're not going to go with Van Dijk, I think Kirk is the second best option from defense from Liverpool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Just wanted to bring up the point that Tsimikas is back though, so maybe we'll see a slight reduction in Kirk's minutes, but he should be the number one and should be nailed to start. Yeah, fixtures wise, yeah, Newcastle should be pretty easy, even though it's an away game. And then yeah, these three fixtures look really good.
Right.
As Igor Jesus.
Yeah.
I think, there's questions about who's going to play center back. Jaquette might be a little bit injury prone. Who's going to play the other center back behind Virgil? I think they're going to be a leaky defense this year. I would not go near Kirkes personally, but I respect your input.
No, I think with the new manager, I think we're going to be on the attack a lot, and Kirkes will have all the chances he needs to rack up the goals and assists.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Kirkes did play under this manager before, and we saw what he did. Here, I can pull up the stats. Yeah, he got 2 goals and 6 assists in
that is correct.
38 starts. Played almost every game.
A lot of people don't know about that.
Yeah,
they have the manager to play a connection, so he's definitely gonna be nailed.
Yeah,
see exactly. Alias.
Yeah. So, all right, we can go ahead and
Yeah, it's okay. We can move on. Yeah, my next differential player was a midfielder on Leeds called Anton Stack. Saw him sort of break through last year, and yeah, he's sort of like a mini Bruno Fernandes in my eyes. He has lots of routes to points, DEFCON sometimes, goals, assists, set piece merchant, pretty much everything you can ask for. And at only 6 million, I think you can't really go wrong. There's not many good 6 million mids at that price point. Obviously, we saw Elias earlier on pointed Lefay, but I think Stock could give Lefay a run for his money. Yeah, he's decent fixtures on in the beginning, and yeah, I think just an overall all-rounded good pick.
Yeah. I remember him breaking out last season. Everyone was getting on the train, and now I think to start out this season, it's a good pick, especially with the fixture that he has. Forest, Brighton, even Brentford at home. It's worth a shout.
I think he's a great pick as well. I think for the 6 million price range, though, I think it's a bit steep, but I think he has a good chance to perform. I think somebody like Pascal Gross could be a good pick for only 5.5 million, and he could be on penalties. He's another great option. But I think Stack could also be a great option.
I think Stack is also a DEFCON merchant, if I'm not mistaken. He does rack up the DEFCON a lot.
He hits it. Let's see. Yeah, I got 266 DEFCON last year, which is not bad at all.
I would argue that he might be the new Anderson this season.
Not quite. I don't think his DEFCON is at the rate of Anderson. Like we saw Anderson averaging like 14 DEFCON per game, which was ridiculous. Crazy. I think he's more of like a 8 to 10 DEFCON player, so he'll hit it every once in a while, but not like 90% of the time like Anderson. But yeah, still a good DEFCON player.
Yeah, it sounds like their new center back could be the Senesi of this season, so it's another good option.
Yeah, I was gonna add him in my differentials, but didn't know how to pronounce his name, so didn't want to go there. But yeah, he's a good player as well. Yeah, so that was a bit of the differentials that we picked. Now, next we're gonna look at some overrated players that we think you guys should be completely avoiding come the game week 1 deadline. Andrew, who do you got first?
My first player might be a hot take, but Szoboszlai is overrated.
Oh
He's
my
not a great
goodness.
pick in my books. Under the new manager, Ariola, it looks like Florian Wirtz is going to take that key number 10 role. And I think he has plans to have Wirtz be the behind the striker guy, get involved in the attack. While Szoboszlai might be stuck with a weaker, deeper role, with less direct attacking chances than last season. And I think also with Isak, he's not guaranteed penalties. I think he's missed his only Premier League penalty that he's ever taken. So why would he be guaranteed penalties? I have no idea.
Oh yeah, I had him in that game.
Yeah,
It was
he's
devastating.
also kind of a, he's a bit of a passion merchant. Sometimes he gets carried away. As you might remember his horrendous red card against Manchester City last season, where he tried to kill Haaland. He's a bit of a, I don't know. Sometimes he gets out of control. So he doesn't really have that explosive haul potential like Wirtz, for only 0.5 million more. He's going to be playing a deeper role. He's a DEFCON merchant, whatever. And he's a 90-minute merchant, whatever. But he's not going to get the clean sheet the clean sheets because they have a leaky defense with a center back that we don't know who's going to be playing back there. So overall, people think he's a great pick, but in reality, Wirtz is a better pick for only 0.5 million more. So
yeah, I'm interested in seeing what your argument is against people that would talk about his set piece, like his set piece. If that he's on corners, he's on free kicks, so we know he doesn't free kicks.
I'm hearing that Wirtz is taking corners in practice, so his corners might be, I don't know, they're under threat, and also his free kicks.
I saw that tweet.
Yeah, that's a popular, that's another thing. I know the Liverpool fan here might not know because he doesn't stay up to date with his team, but and his, a couple fluke free kicks doesn't faze me. I think he'll get taken off free kicks probably by week 3, maybe, I'd guess. So yeah.
I'm also pretty sure he's supposed to play the full 90 every game. You're not worried about him, getting way more minutes than Wirtz.
No.
I think Wirtz should be also nailed for 90 minutes for the most part. He should be the main man in that attack. Yeah, in general, I think Szoboszlai is being slightly overrated. Like 48% ownership is a bit ridiculous. Probably just because he has cool looking hair. He's getting a little bit overrated there, and people are, just can't look past the appearance side of things.
Yes.
I'll agree to disagree with you, Andrew, on this one, but we'll see. We'll see when the season starts who's right, who's wrong.
And I promise it won't be you. Rodgers also only 0.5 million more, and he plays for a superior team, and he's more creative, and he's more attacking. I don't know. Difficult
decision. I'll not be going near Rodgers.
Time will tell. Time will tell anyone.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the next player, Elias, would you like to reveal your overrated player?
I want to go ahead and start talking about Anderson, the newly Man City player. I just think the main point I want to bring out is that he's not the same player he is the same player obviously, but he's not going to have the same role that he had on Forest. I'm not going to expect Anderson to have as many routes to points in a team that is expected to dominate possession. Man City is obviously one of the top teams in the Prem. They're always going to have possession. So Anderson would be a DEFCON merchant at Forest, but when on a team that is supposed to dominate possession, I'm not sure to see how he can do the same thing that he did last year. Furthermore, now you have Semenyo, and now you have all these world-class players around you, whereas in Forest, it was just, mostly just Anderson doing all the work. So, is he going to be able to keep up with the numbers that he was putting out last year? I don't think so. Anderson, of course he's going still going to be a threat with the assists, to Haaland, and, some fluke goals from the outside of the box. But as far as going ahead and saying, oh, Anderson did good last year, so I'll just pick him again this year, I would say, be careful of doing that because he's on a different team. He has a bunch of world-class players around him. And his DEFCON numbers will definitely not be as much as they were last year. So, stay away.
Yeah, it's a good point to bring up. I would slightly disagree with the DEFCON point of view that you had. We can actually see he had 515 DEFCON last year, but I think he'll still retain most of that this year. I'm trying to find Rodri. Maybe we can take a look to compare. Well, Rodri didn't play that many games last year, so he had 206. So if you double that to account for the minutes, he'll be similar to Anderson. So I think Anderson could retain most of the DEFCON, maybe not at the same extent, but I don't think it'll be as big of a drop off as most people think. And he also has like a decent amount of attacking threat. So yeah, provided that he plays 90 minutes of every game, I think he could actually be pretty viable.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But in Forest, it always, I guess, yeah, Man City. I mean, I just don't think there's as many routes as there were in Forest for him to get the DEFCON points that he used to get. But I guess we'll see. Maybe he'll be playing the same role that he did last year.
Yeah. Yeah, 6.5 is a bit much considering there's also a lot of 6 million and 5.5 ones. So I could definitely see the reason to avoid him as well. But yeah. Good talking points. Next up, we can go through the player that I said was overrated. It's a bit of a hot take because I saw him in a few content creator drafts, but I'm going to go with Robbie here. Yeah, I think Sunderland, as I said, I think we're going to see a drop off from them a few games into the season. I'm not even sure if he's going to start every game in the beginning, so not sure if he's a good option there. I think people are really overrating him because of his World Cup performances, but as we know, the Prem's a completely different level than the World Cup. It's a completely higher level, so I don't think he'll be able to replicate those numbers that we saw him farming against some international farmers. Yeah, 7 goals, 2 assists last year, not bad, but at that price range, you can just go for Calvert-Lewin, who's on pens and nailed 90 every game. So, yeah. Any thoughts?
Yeah, 6 million range. Like Igor Jesus, another great pick. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the standard pick. On penalties, I think Leeds will improve, so I think he's a great pick behind, especially with Stack on his team. He's destined to perform this season. I think there's also Solanke and Richarlison. Whoever starts there would be a great pick. I think they're better pick because Spurs looks to improve this season. And yeah, I think whoever the Newcastle forward ends up being will just outperform Robbie, I think.
Yeah, I think Osula is 6 mil, right?
Yeah, they're all 6 million.
Yeah, Osula is definitely outperforming him, no question.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 21% ownership. I don't know who's picking him, but
he does have the luxury of playing in front of Lefay, so that might help him a little bit. But
Okay.
and he does to put Taubi, an absolute beast from Morocco. So another, player that can help create for him. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can end off the discussion on Robbie there. Curious to see what Andrew's next overrated player is.
My next overrated player, is Gabriel. I don't think he's absolutely not worth $8 million. I think he's just below the all-time record for a price for a defender behind John Terry over 20 years ago. I think paying this exuberant price for him is just not worth it. I personally think there's different ways to get into the Arsenal defense with Mascara and Calafiori, and I think if you could own Gabriel and a $4 million defender, or Nico O'Reilly, who had the most goal contributions for a defender, and Mascara, I think that's a much better combination than Gabriel and a $4 million defender, and you save $0.5 million. I just think he's not a great pick, and with Saliba injury, I think his defensive numbers are going to decline, and when his main haul potential is off set piece luck, if there's a dip in the set piece performances, he's going to suffer in his scores. So, I mean, he was the third highest scoring player last season, regardless of position, but I just don't think this form can continue, and I think his price is a knee-jerk reaction of his exceptional season last season.
Interesting.
I would have to disagree. Little spoiler alert: he's actually my current draft right now. Managed to squeeze him in. Yeah, I think he's worth the price for the set pieces alone.
Really?
Yeah, and we don't know who's nailed in Arsenal, who's not nailed.
Yeah, that's
Mascara
true.
is definitely getting benched, so don't want to go near him at all. If anyone has him, you should transfer him out immediately.
if you want a set piece merchant who's actually taking the set pieces, more aura when you score, Reece James is a much better option. And he plays for better defense.
I don't even know if he'll get starting the first few games.
Yeah, I just don't like. Yeah, I don't like his price because it's hard to make a team with Holland, Bruno, and Gabriel. So I just think he's a little bit too overpriced, and I can probably find maybe people that aren't as a threat on the set pieces like Gabriel, but they help me fit other players into my team.
I think O'Reilly is a greater threat from set pieces, and he's better from scoring from open play. So I think he's just a better pick.
But he's not starting game week 1.
He doesn't get DEFCONs. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, that's fair. And he's not quite the DEFCON merchant that Gabriel is, but to save $2 million, I think he's just a better pick. Yeah. And Gvardiol is also an amazing pick. Gvardiol's insane. And he's only $5.5 million.
Yeah, I think Gabriel's price is a little bit overpriced. I mean, $8 million is the same as the greatest right back of all time in Trent Alexander-Arnold. So I don't know how he got priced the same as him, but yeah, I think they did a good job though, because it's actually making people have discussions and debates on whether to have Gabriel or not, rather just being a automatic shoe-in. So I think it's a good price. And personally, I think I'm going to start the season with him, surprisingly.
So does that mean, just out of curiosity, do you have Holland and Bruno on your team as well or no?
I've never had Bruno in any draft. PC sucks.
I can also reveal I don't have Gabriel or Bruno because they are no skill template picks. And if you're going for first place like me, having the template picks will only get you at best probably 50,000 because everybody has them in the top 50,000 at that point if they outperform. But if they don't perform, then you're getting first. You don't have them. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. If you wanna like go ahead in the mini leagues and just be a haram ball mini league player, then yeah, you just go with the template picks. But as we know, we want to chase high upside and get that first place finish.
Yeah, it sounds
correct.
Yeah,
take it away, Elias.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my last overrated player, who's gonna be Saka from Arsenal. Yeah, I just think overall Saka hasn't really justified his price in FPL terms. And I think his availability is the key issue. He's no one knows if he's in form or not. Like, is he even fit? Does he still have an injury? I mean, yes, of course we know that he scored a hat trick in a World Cup, but that was like a Mickey Mouse game. So I just think that there's better options for cheaper price, and we all know that Arsenal doesn't really attack that much. They like to sit back and defend. So, I mean, I think that if you're going to pick someone from Arsenal, I think you should go with the midfielders and not the mid. I mean, you should go with the defenders instead of the midfielders and attackers. I just think people like Bruno are such a better option than Saka, and he just hasn't been performing well. And maybe if he does do well in the first couple of games, I guess people can start bringing him in. But to start out with Saka in your draft for the first game week is too much of a risk in my opinion. And I think he's a player that we have to be on the lookout for. But as of right now, I think you should be steering away from him. Unless proven otherwise.
Can you quickly remind me about his performance in the World Cup third place game? How many goals did he score?
Yeah, so I just brought that up a couple seconds ago, but I was talking about how, of course, even though he did score a hat trick in that game, if you go back and look at his goals, they're not very impressive. And moreover, it's a third
finishing goal, and he's on penalties, so that penalty would stand for Arsenal as well.
I don't think that's confirmed though. I think Gyökeres could be on penalties, but I mean, yeah, if you look at that third place game, I mean, they were like a total of 10, 11 goals scored in total. So just from that stat alone, that it wasn't a serious game. And the fact that, Saka's goals, did he even score from outside the box? I swear he scored just 2 of them must have been tap-ins or something. But
tap-ins are respectable goals.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't get more points from outside the box goals in FPL.
Yeah, I just don't think that something like his performance in the World Cup third place game is going to translate over to the Prem.
I don't know. I think Odegaard's a great pick for $3 million cheaper, so that's what I'll be getting my Arsenal in at.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely be avoiding all Arsenal attackers until I'm proven otherwise. If they're coming out and score 3 or 4 goals a game, then maybe I'll have to go and pick someone. But for now, they will not be on my team.
Well, yeah, you're gonna be knee jerking though after they beat Coventry like 9-0. So you're gonna be missing out.
Coventry's the best newly promoted team. They're a serious squad under Frank Lampard.
Yeah,
And
I've
Haji
never
Wright's
seen them
wiping
play.
a clean sheet. So, I don't know. Your triple Arsenal defense after Haji Wright. I don't know.
Fair point.
I just
US
think that
legend.
people like Wilson from Fulham, I think that Saka and Wilson will probably, you can expect them to get the same amount of points, and you can save so much money by just getting Wilson. People like Rice.
Wilson's joined Leeds. Leeds are about to be insane.
Yeah, we can cut that out. Yeah, I think Saka though, you have to look at his historical numbers, and like 179, 202, 226. He's like a 200-point player every year on his day. He had like a few injuries in the last 2 years, which is why we saw a fall off, but he's still getting decent numbers despite missing a lot of games. So
I
yeah,
just
the only
think,
concern for me is like he might not start that game week 1 fixture, but yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
Elias, if Vinicius Jr. joins Arsenal, will you be reworking your team around getting that Arsenal player in, or?
No, I don't. I mean, to start off, I don't think he's joining Arsenal in the first place. But if he does, he'll have to prove me that he's worth a spot on my team before I get him.
So you would miss out on this Coventry game where he drops 7 goals before you get him?
Yes, I will not. If Vinicius Jr. joins Arsenal, he will not be on my team for the first game week.
Fair enough.
How much do you think it'll cost?
Probably 12 million.
Probably, yeah, damn near like 11 million or something.
I don't know. I'll be rocking 4 million defenders and get him in.
Yeah, I hope he joins in. It'll make the game more interesting. Yeah. Well, I guess we can end it there on the Saka pick. My next pick for my overrated player is a bit of an overrated one. I mean, a bit of a hot take. Very, very hot take. It's gonna be João Pedro. You two definitely have him in your teams right now. So, yeah, I think he's an overrated player just because he's sort of like a purple patch player, and if you don't own him during the purple patch, then he's not going to have any shots on target. So you definitely don't want to go near him. Yeah, Fulham away against the new Arbeloa side. Chelsea are definitely losing that game. You don't want to go near João Pedro, and yeah, he's mainly like a penalty merchant kind of guy. Like we saw that with Brighton. Last year was a completely fluke anomaly. Like we don't want to look at that. And I would say if you really want to have a Brazilian striker in your team, just find 0.5 million somewhere else and go for Igor Thiago, who's a proper striker and someone that actually has World Cup experience, unlike this fraud here.
I
have to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I pray you do not have Thiago, or you are just not taking this season seriously. When you have a player like João Pedro who can explode for 20 points in any given game week, he's at this cheap price. He's kind of essential. I mean, in this super Chelsea squad, he's leading the lines. Mudryk might come back, an explosive player, so he's gonna elevate the attack to a whole new level. João Pedro could rack in 60 goals in the Premier League this season.
I have mixed feelings because on the one side, I know João Pedro's a complete baller. Like he's over here scoring bicycle kicks in the Prem last season, scoring from outside the box. He has a set piece threat, but also like he is part of like a bunch of other world class attackers. So you have Rogers, you have Palmer, Estevao. So it's not like it's only João Pedro that he would be getting fed all the goals. There's other players to choose from, but it's hard to say if he's overrated or not.
So would you not consider Manchester City's attack all world-class players, but Haaland gets fed all the goals? So I think João Pedro, it could be a similar situation. And he's 8 million cheaper than Haaland, but I would be having both personally. But
that's a good point.
Yeah, I'd like to bring up that once Welbeck gets into the team, João Pedro is not going to see any minutes on the pitch because there's going to be levels shown there. So
yeah, that is a risk because previously with Delap, nobody's concerned about Delap because he's fucking trash. But with Welbeck now, does João Pedro, maybe come off at maybe 75, 80 minutes and Welbeck gets on? Who knows, so.
Your Welbeck point has, that's a great point because actually that gives me another thought, He's going to be mentoring João Pedro, molding him into an even better player. So he might, I said 60 goals. He might even drop 70. And he's a serious baller. under the mentorship of Danny Welbeck as well. Holy, a seasoned veteran, 35-year-old beast, or yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he'll definitely be mentoring João Pedro, but there's still gonna be levels shown, and he's gonna take over that starting spot completely from him. So maybe 70 goals in like the EFL Cup, but I don't think we get points for that, so don't really have to worry
That's
about
funny.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I will have to say that he will be on my team to start out because it's too much of a risk not to not have him. But yeah, I mean, there is a risk of his goals being stolen from other players such as Rodgers and Palmer.
Yeah. Well, honestly, the main reason I'm avoiding him is because I've had him in past seasons and he's done me dirty every single time. So I'm never, like, personally never going for him ever again. Just didn't want to be hurt again. Like, he always returned when he's on my bench or when I didn't have him. So yeah, just never want to go near him ever again. And I'm just
Yeah.
warning everyone else to do the same, or you're gonna get punished.
Respect
Yeah.
it. Respect your thoughts.
Yeah. Well,
Both
that was an
in a row.
interesting discussion.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, with that being said, I think we can end it off here for today. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Otherwise, we're going to see everyone next time.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.